Hi guys, welcome to part 3. I'm just a mess. Like, I'm gonna be embarrassed. Like, am I drunk? um, nah, but now it's like actually acting normal. It started slowing down because I had to charge my phone. I just wanted to talk really quick about Canada. I am a little tired from talking. Let's do another Jewel. I don't think it's on. It probably needs to be charged. I don't know how this works. I gotta ask Jimmy how this works. Because it has that. I gotta look it up. But, so my parents say that they went to the reservation, which is my reservation, which is Lake Simon. You know, people have kids there because they get money and they have free place to live, but they're alcoholics. Like, I'm not going to say anything bad or say anything good, but a lot of people, Native Americans, are alcoholics, okay? And they have a lot of kids. Like, my cousin has 6 kids, I think. They get money and whatnot, but they don't take care of it. So up in Canada, it's a little different. Here, you can't just take somebody's kids, or they will be, I mean, they get taken away for DIFUS or whatever it is, but my own cousin had her kids taken away from her, you know, so a lot of people had their kids taken from them because they're out drinking and they're not watching their kids or whatever the case may be. So, you know, there's little babies and kids that the parents don't care, and other like elders or whoever it is, they will take in the kids and they will watch them and they will raise the kids. Like my cousin Daisy, that's what happened to her, and she is my mother's sister, but not by blood. That looks like an exclamation mark. Look, see that like there? It just looks like exclamation mark. Wow. All right, but yeah, like people will have kids and they don't watch them. So my cousin Daisy she babysits all the time, you know. She used to drink, she doesn't drink anymore. Her and her husband Donald, Daisy and Donald Duck, they don't drink anymore, but they used to, you know. Yeah, they don't drink anymore. Good for them. But they babysit a lot, and the parents there, they just will leave their kids with other people that will take care of them. Other Indians, you know. Up there, if you want a kid and you want to raise a kid, you don't need to go through adoption. You just take the kid in and watch him. My dad said their friends Estelle, my mother's friends Estelle and stuff. They're older, like my mother's age, you know. They just in their 60s, right? They just there's a baby that the mother wasn't taking care of, so now they watch the baby. And the kid is 5 now. It's not a baby anymore. It's 5. They found the kid when he was 3, walking the streets with a dirty, wet diaper. Okay, hungry, crying. They took that baby in, and they've been watching it since. So that's really their kid now. So Father's Day was yesterday. That little boy, who's 5 years old, he says, "I'm so happy that you took me in." I had a wet diaper and you took me in. He remembers. He's a 5-year-old and he remembers, and he's so grateful to have a family now that cares about him. But he said yesterday, he's like, you know, I'd like to see my real father. It's Father's Day. That's like so sad. I mean, he wanted to see his real father, even though his real father's an alcoholic, you know. So he wanted to see his real dad. That's how it's like up there. I said, take a kid. I told my parents, I'm like, bring a kid home, please. I will be a mother to a child. Like, I would. You know, I would. Like, you know, here the process to adopt a child is so hard to do, but there it isn't. If you find a kid that you can take care of, that the parents aren't looking after because they're too busy going to a bar or drinking or whatever the case may be, you can take the kid. Of course, yeah, I drink right now, but if I ever have kids in my house, I'm not going to. Like, I just can't do it because that's scary. Kids don't want to be around that. They want to be loved and cared for, you know. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. It's the 100th anniversary of Sanitaire, Quebec, where my parents are at right now. Yeah, they're up there. And it's boring up there. Yeah, it is, but that's the way it is, you know. Oh, yeah, another thing I wanted to say is I I knew this when we used to go to Canada every day. There's this guy named Charlie Wapachi, and I will leave a link to like an article about him. Well, anyways, it was so weird. Back in November, like it was so odd because they went to his house and they saw that the door was still open. So Canada's really full of like tall tales, like if you like Bigfoot, and I was gonna say big butt. If you like Bigfoot and all that, or weird stuff, like my uncle once saw like a spirit like floating outside, like oh yeah, sorry, my father met my mom because he was a missionary in the church. So that means, well, my father was in the Marines, and he he was in the Marines at Key West and all that. He was like the bugle boy and the chaplain or whatever. I'm not really sure the details, but he didn't go to Vietnam, but my uncle did. But he got out of the Marines. He did his time, and then he was in a band, like a rock band, you know, like his style, like he's a really good musician. My father's a really good musician. He made jingles for like stuff they were gonna pay him, but he didn't. He makes really good music though. Like he really does. Like he makes really good music. You know, he grew up with Bruce Springsteen's drummer, I think. I'm not sure. Danny Federici in Highbridge, New Jersey, and he was friends with him. He knew him. So they used to open for Bruce Springsteen back in the day. My dad didn't always, he never really liked Bruce Springsteen because he acted like he was better than everybody else. But my dad was a hippie, like, you know, like all that, like the shore, they stayed at the Jersey Shore and all that. You know, he has a lot of good stories. He used to do drugs and acid. He remember one day he was tripping and he saw a picture of the devil, which was laughing at him. And after that happened, he got so freaked out, he stopped doing all that and he became saved again. He grew up in a Christian family. Like my grandmother, his mother is Puerto Rican, Spaniard though. Spaniard that married a Puerto Rican, and sorry, she's Puerto Rican, but something they would disown them because they're Spain, and Spain is like privilege, and they married a Puerto Rican, which is like lowly class or whatever. So, you know, they kind of disowned her. She was, yeah, that was my great-great-grandparents. She married my grandfather, who's Irish. You know, like I said, he used to drink too himself, but he stopped, you know. And I remember my grandfather, I miss him. He looked like the Vincent Price, I think, from Edward Scissorhands. He always reminded me of that, but he was such a great grandfather. I gotta pee, hold on. I also have to keep in mind that I'm gonna edit the Florida trip together too, so I don't want to get all like, you know, like forgetful about that, but I do have to edit the Florida trip. But yeah, so just an interesting story there, you know. Hold on, my OCD, I gotta shut the light off. Oh, this is much better. I should have had the light off the whole time, don't you think? Because it's natural light now. But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about my dad and stuff. But there was a lot of before. Yeah, my dad became saved again after he got out of that business with the band and all that. So he went back with the church. My grandparents were saved, born again Christians, you know. And then my dad went on. He was a missionary with the pastor Zabriskie. So they went up way north Quebec. You know, northern Canada, not Ottawa, not Ontario, not those cities that everybody says, yeah, I've been to Canada, I've been to Montreal. No, I'm talking about, they call it the bush. It's way up north, okay? The skies are beautiful, the night, it's like up there, you know, it's not the border. So that's where my mother's from. She went to boarding school there. She actually got she actually, you know, there was a settlement because they used to abuse the Indians, the native kids at these boarding schools in Canada. Like they would abuse them, sexually abuse them, and like physically abuse them. And they took them from their families and made them cut their hair short, not long native hair. They cut it short, and they could not speak their language, which was Cree. You know, they couldn't speak their native language. They had to be ripped from their family. And yeah, and they had to go to Catholic school, and they were abused there. My mother got hit a couple times by the nuns, and she got $30,000. But some people, they say they got more abuse. My mother is she's an honest person. She could have lied. When somebody we know lied, and she got $90,000 because she said she was, well, maybe it did happen. Like, it didn't happen to my mom. But anyways, but that happened all in Canada. So my mother went through that, you know. Yeah, what was I saying? So it was a lot, you know, a lot of stuff that was going on up there. But my grandmother, Mariah, she doesn't speak English or French. They speak French up there. But she was pure Native American woman. Like, my grandfather was a chief, actually. He really was. Chief Joseph Diamond, that's his name, okay? He was a chief, and she's like, my grandmother used to be like a medicine woman. Like, she really did practice that and stuff, because they didn't know. I'm talking about, you know, religions trying to take over and like all this, and then my dad went up there to teach about Christianity. So, but anyways, like, that's how they told, you know, had church and like told the natives, and they stopped messing around with that like stuff. But you know what? If you think about it, it's like, what's the right way? Like, Native Americans have their way of, you know, they believe in peace, and the way of thinking is not like a organized religion, you know. But my dad met my mother up there, and they got married. So that's how they met. But back then, when they were doing that stuff, my uncle Bob, he's a big devout Christian. I mean, he will spread the gospel, like, really. He said he was sleeping in the cabin, and he woke up and he saw a spirit, like this weird like thing outside the window, and he wouldn't just make that up. My parents also saw a UFO. You know, when, like, it was crazy. They saw a UFO, like, seriously. But yeah, so that's how. So my mother goes to Canada every year, and it's the 100th anniversary. So they went to go up there for that, you know. But that's how they met. Yeah. So where was I going with this? I felt like I had like, oh yeah. So I was just trying to talk about how there's weird things, like weird energies and stuff in Canada and whatnot. And I remember Roy, this Indian guy, he told us a story, and my cousin Jack scared the life out of us. They were hunting, and they saw this big black blob, like this circular black blob, and they followed it. It was just going through the forest. It was just so crazy. Oh my God, Native American stories are the scariest. Like, they will get you freaked out. My friend Shannon, who we used to dance in powwows, she told us a story about this, like, dog that was running as fast as, it was a haunted house, like, by spirits, it was, or something, and the dog looked at them and smiled and was laughing, and it was running as fast as a car. Like, that story scared me when she told me it. You know, oh, so anyways, that's like folklore and all that stuff, like stories are just like scary. So this guy that I knew that he's my age, Charlie Wapichi, he gone missing in November, and they saw his house. The door is open, the oven was still on, and it looks like it's been on for 2 weeks. They didn't know where he went. It's like, whatever happened, he ran the hell out of his house, you know? And he's been missing. Well, 2 weeks ago, they finally found his body. It's such a mystery what happened. It's such a mystery. It could have been people, you know. It's just so weird. So my parents today, they went to his funeral today, but it's just really strange and bizarre. Oh my gosh, it feels so nice outside. It really does. Feels beautiful. Canada is pretty boring, but you know, I'm going to put links up if anybody's interested maybe I will put links up. I still have to edit the Florida videos, which I'm going to do. So, I'm going to finish this beer and do what I have to do. Thanks. I'm going to make a smoking video later for, yeah, I don't know. I'm just hanging out, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stories I mean, life happens, you know, but it feels beautiful outside. I wish I was outside right now. Because it's like that cool air. Like, it's like 7, right? 7:15. It's like, I could be outside, you know, chilling. Why am I in a house? I don't want to be in a house. I want to, like, I want company. But somebody I like. You know, not somebody that's gonna annoy me. Somebody I could talk to and who listens, and we can have conversation with Mike. Sorry about Mike, but I tell him things and he doesn't really listen. So he doesn't really know me, but it's because he doesn't understand, because he never, like he said, he never had a childhood. He doesn't understand communication. I'm actually really annoyed at that light right now because I want all natural light. Just a minute. I'm back. I shut the light off because I just want natural light. I just want to sit outside. I need to start grilling too. But been feeling very lonely about things. I don't like feeling, I mean, it's not that I don't like feeling lonely, it's just that it's a very somber feeling. You know. I'm just groping this because it got damp on the bottom and it's all wet and it feels like, it just feels weird. Ew. These paper towels went kaput. I don't know why. I think, oh, whatever, I don't feel like talking. But let's finish this beer. I want to say thanks if you listened to all 3 parts. If you listened here and there, that's fine. Yeah. Ugh. So I'm going to edit those videos for Florida. And, stay tuned. Let me finish this. Ain't no rush. Ain't no rush. Yeah, I kind of want to hang out with a friend. Nothing crazy, just drink and tell tall tales. And hang out and, you know. Yeah, I used to go to Canada. I haven't been in a while, but when I was younger, me and my friend Karen, I've mentioned her before, and my cousins, we used to get in a lot of trouble. Not really, though, but we're young, and when you're young, life is interesting, you know? We would find it interesting just walking around town trying to be cool, right? We were trying to act like we were, like, starting trends, like, I have a lot of stories, like, I really would like to write a story about my life, like, here and there, you know? I mean, just trying to share a little insight of me and who I am and my background and where I came from. I'm not just a person. Well, let me say, like, when you travel, it feels very cosmopolitan. It's a different feeling from being welcome to your home. If you're a traveler, that's great, but at the same time, you're a traveler, a time traveler. No, but it's always like a cosmopolitan feel to it, like a travel-y feel to it, like a distance feel to it, and it's not quite the same, like, but being on the East Coast where I grew up, it's not like I don't know, it's just hard to explain. Like, there's so many people out there's so many humans, different kinds of people with different experiences, you know. It's just crazy, but I'm still jet lagged from being in Florida. Like, I'm still not getting back to feeling, I don't know, like, I'm just not, and I want someone to welcome me. Mike, I don't know, you know. Okay, I'm almost done with this. Alright. I think I said everything I wanted to talk about. I just want to keep talking because I don't know. I think I had like 3 beers in that shot. Like, arc. I need another beer. And I'm going to upload the freaking things that I keep talking about. It's beautiful outside. Look at that. A bunch of plastic. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna shut up. I just keep rambling on. Thanks for watching.